Hello friends. I can't believe I'm still stressing over what papers and everything to put into this journal, but I am. This really will be my first truly junk journal. I've decided, not for any other reason except that I want to challenge myself to do it. I am going to put the papers in first. I know a lot of people will use all kinds of different papers, but I'm not ready to step out of my box. Plus, I have a bunch of paper. I mean, I have a lot of paper. It's just, so one of the things I want this journal for is I want to do a lot of actual journaling in it, you know, actually writing and telling the story that I want to tell. So what I'm thinking about doing, I got both of these on Amazon, is putting pretty much neutral colors in there. I used a lot of these same papers for my son's journal. So, I'm sorry, I am boring you. I'm going to start cut my pages. I'm going to, which side do I want on the outside? I cut them at, well, it was 20 centimeters. That's really where I cut it because it was ever so slightly shy of 8 inches. So I have my bone folder. Let me make sure I've got that nice and straight. Okay. Now I'll put my crease in there. So I'm starting out with just 16 pages, which is 4 signatures with 4 pages. I would like to have the opportunity to do some fun little artwork, you know. I'm not sure what I'll do. So anyway, but this is me being really brave. So let me show you. So the pages end up being like 6 inches this way by 20 centimeters this way, almost 8 inches, just shy of that. Let's see how it fits in here. So it is just right. Anyway, well, I will keep folding. So I chose cardstock paper, which is more sturdy. I did that because I wanted a sturdy background for my photos. And so I thought I would start out with packs of 4 pages. And then I thought I would kind of see how thick it is. Because I am going to do flip outs and stuff like I did with my son's journal. Okay, we are back and we're going to do the spine. Now, I already cut my paper. What I did, I measured how far it was across. I actually remembered that it was 2.5 inches, but I also measured just to make sure. So I cut it 2.5 inches wide, and then I cut it 20 centimeters long because that's how all of my pages are 20 centimeters long. Okay, so I want to show you, I'm going to do a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes, right? Oh, let me put it out so you can see the whole book. So this is a book I did a while back, and it's all paper instead of fabric. I have since then learned that though this will hold up just fine, because I'm going to be playing in this book a whole lot more, the fabric should work better because it's got a little more give to it, okay? So, I wanted to show you this also. So, for this book here, I made this template. And you have to have a template. Well, I suppose you could totally go freehand and do whatever you want. And that's probably a look all of its own. But in the book I just showed you, I only had 3 signatures. So what you do for a 3 signature, which is kind of easy, you fold it in half, and then you fold one side into the middle, and then you fold the other side into the middle, okay? And I don't know whether I chose to not fold it exactly in half, or maybe I had a longer piece of paper and I snipped it off, because I don't remember, because I did this months ago. But anyway, you fold it in half, and then you fold it again and again. And now you've got your 5-hole pamphlet stitch. 3-hole pamphlet stitch is a lot easier. And I've even done that quite a few times without bothering to measure or anything. I just stick it in. But I like the look of this. Let me show you this one more time. I like that look. I also think it might be a little more sturdy for my book. This is for the book that I made for my son. And this was the template for that. And it's kind of fallen apart. But this was 2 1/4 inches, and this is 2 1/2. I am going to use this for the template. But as you can see here, it is a little bigger because that book was 8 inches and this one is ever so slightly less. And I've heard, again, from YouTube, from those that are doing the little golden books, the older the book, it's just a little bit smaller than 8 inches. So I lined this up, and this is something actually my husband's taught me to do. Is you line it up, okay, and I made my dots. All right, and so then I came down here and I started lining it up again. And that's when I noticed that I was not filming. And I'm lining it up on these 2 dots here. So, and I'm going to, these are not touching any dots, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is, okay? So now I'm going to take my ruler, and because I have 2 points, I'm going to be measuring a straighter line than if I had 1 point. So it's got to go through both of those. So there's 1. I have 4 signatures. 2. And this, of course, does not have to be an exact science. This isn't like trying to piece a quilt where you want all of your corners and angles to be just right and precise. Well, this one looks like it's on the dots. Okay, so that's that one. I think I did. I must have folded it in half. So we're going to go with that because that makes it easier. Okay, so then you fold it in half. Again, this does not have to be an exact science. So there's 1, and I'm going to fold it in half again. Let's see. I have to remember, isn't that terrible? I even have this sitting right in front of me. I might as well use this as a guide. So I fold it in half. Now I'm going to fold where these dots are. And then I'll fold where these dots are. Okay, so keeping your templates can be very helpful for the future. So there, where's my, oh, this is not my favorite. My favorite is probably buried under something else. And I'll fold this. I want to have a nice crease. I want to have it kind of straight. Again, this is a junk journal. If it was a perfect journal, then we wouldn't be nearly so precise, right? All right. So now I'm gonna just draw my little dots for my holes. I might erase these guys right there just so I don't get confused. Same with these. All right, let me go closer, sorry. All right, so I'm doing this so I know where I'm gonna put my needle. So exciting, right? Okay, one thing though that we do want to do is we want to write top on the top, just in case there's any kind of shifting, okay? So then it's just deciding, oh, which one do I want to do first? Oh, kind of thought I wanted to do this one first. What are the pages here? Okay, so first step is going to be to put, these are called binder clips. I want to make sure I don't move that like I just did. You're going to binder clip the top like that. Okay. And the first thing you're going to do, you're going to take your awl. You can use a needle to do this. I have used a needle in the past to do this. The awl is really pretty nice. I'm gonna do the bottom one too because that keeps flopping up. You're just doing it to keep your paper nice and secure. We've written top on the top, so we know where the top is. We're gonna go in, come out the other end, okay? We're gonna make our holes. Okay, so we're gonna go through them all with the awl. Go through them all with the awl. See? Okay. And the awl is really nice. It has a little more oomph to it than a needle would. It will make a little bigger hole than a needle will. You want to be able to see your hole. You want to be able to find it later. I have seen people push this into like a cardboard box. I just kind of push it into the air. I'm going to do all of them. So, oh, anyway, I was mentioning how I needed to do something while my husband was in Iraq to stay sane. So, fast forward 20 years later, I haven't really quilted or sewed, or I've moved my sewing machine from Alaska to North Carolina. I had it serviced in North Carolina. I didn't use it at all in North Carolina. And we moved it from North Carolina here to Utah. And I decided, my husband finished this sunroom, and I decided I want to put some of the quilts that I never finished. I want to finish them, put them up there. Did you know there's a learning curve in remembering how to do something that you used to do 20 years ago? Well, there is. And oh my goodness. And right away I walked in and I said, I don't think I'm ready for this class. And I probably wasn't, because everybody else had their sewing machines threaded and everything, and I couldn't remember how, and I'm pulling out my manual and I'm crying. It was awful. And the gal who taught the class said she had started a business. It was a quilting business, and this was many years ago, actually. So she had started that quilting business, and one of the things she needed to do was to learn how to do something on the computer in order to, support her business with. I can't remember if she said it was Excel or what she was learning, but this was probably about 20 years ago as well. And so here she was. Here she is teaching these classes, being the expert on quilting, and she's being very humbled by learning how to do this computer program, which was out of her wheelhouse, right? And she said to me, listen, you might feel like you're an expert in one thing, or that you can teach something or whatever, and you'll find out something else is going to give you fits. And she said it gives you compassion. So she said she realized that the people who she was teaching also needed to learn how, had the same struggles doing what she's actually pretty good at. They have the same struggles. I'm going to do another little step that I didn't do last time, but I think it's going to help me this time. And that is, let me find, here it is. One of the things that I had a problem with, now when you do this with paper, it doesn't have fabric that's going to kind of hide your holes, right? The fabric sort of goes in. I'm doing this on the inside. I won't do this on the outside unless, I find out that I need to. But I'm just going to do it on the inside. That'll help me to line up my holes. Like I said, with my son's journal, I guess you really didn't see all of the struggle that I had because I threw away all the videos of my struggle. That it is. Paper and fabric are very different, and fabric will kind of, it breaks apart, and then it'll kind of go back together, and then you're like, well, where are my holes? Where are those holes I just punched and spent all that time on? What's up with that, right? So I'm going to use my binder clips on this. I decided to do 4 pages. I know you can count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The reason I decided to do 4, and on my next journal, if I find that 4 was too few, then I'll do more. But I already know I want to do some flip outs. So I decided I'm just going to do 4 pages on this one. So first step. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. So the first thing I want to do, I do want to fold it. I want to, this is signature number 1. And I'm going to put the top at the top. I'm going to use my binder clips. So anyways, I came away from that class. I walked in literally kind of in tears because I knew I was out of my element even to begin with. But I had paid for the class. And I was like, well, I've paid for this. I need to take it, I mean, I spent money on it. I could have bought a couple of Tim Holtz products could have bought quite a few Tim Holtz products for what I paid for that class, right? I'm taking it. And the gal was so wonderful. She was retiring, and so she gave us a couple of videos that she did. They were DVDs that she had made, and, on how to quilt, and she gave us some additional, all kinds of extra stuff. We made out like bandits because she's not going to do this anymore. So that was actually kind of cool. And so I went in feeling really anxious, and she said, let's just make sure we can get your machine working, okay? And if we can get your machine working, then, you can watch all these videos. Anyway, it ended up being really very nice, and I walked out with a big smile on my face. And I loved her story about how, here she was setting herself up as this expert, teaching quilting classes, and was humbled by, technology. Because technology humbles a lot of us, especially, those of us who are getting older, right? So, okay, I think I am all lined up. And I have my thread, and I had it. I thought I had it threaded. Oh, hold on. Okay, so I did have it threaded, and I found my needle on the floor. Here's another story. This just happened the other day. My son, who's just had back surgery, and he's had a rough little bit of it recently, and it's his first day back to work after 3 months off because of this back surgery and everything. And he was walking around barefoot in his bedroom like he does all the time, and he stepped on a nail, and that nail has had to been there for 3 years, because that was the last time my husband worked on that bedroom, was 3 years ago. And so then his first day to work, he was all sore and everything. His foot was sore, his back was kind of sore, but his foot was sore. And he just like couldn't win, right? But so then he had to go in and get a tetanus shot. Yeah. So here I dropped my, okay, I've got that in there. Now I need to find it here. There we go. Oh, that wasn't nearly so bad. I don't cut my string until the very end. I actually learned that from Natasha at Treasure Books, and I will link her down in the comments. So now I'm going through this top. So I started out in the middle. Started in the inside and in the middle. I came out the back, and I went into the one just above it. And now I'm in there, and I'm going to come back out. The first one is kind of the hardest because you're starting the whole, setting it all up. Once one is in, the rest are a little easier. Even the one that I did for my son, where I had so much trouble, I ended up, by the last one, it was pretty easy. So now I'm going to go back. So now I'm at the top, and I'm going to go back through the hole that I first made. Okay. You want to make sure they're nice and tight. Now here's kind of the fun part. You're going to skip this one. So just like skip over, leapfrog. And I need to make sure I am seeing, oh, see, marking them with, I'm sorry. No, I think I will go out. Nope, that was in. Sorry, how about out? That's in again. Oh, look, there we go. Figured it out. Talk about struggling with technology sometimes. Those of us who are a little older. I know I called copy paper, I called it typing paper. I must have called it that on the last video that I did, maybe. Anyway, I know. It's not copy paper, it's typing paper. Okay, there's the hole. Coming back around. Gets a little awkward, I know. I'm coming back around. I'm finding this. I'm really glad I made these little black marks on the inside. That is a lifesaver. And if I wasn't concerned about them looking so bad on the outside of my book, I would have done that too. So I'm gonna go here and then so I'm going through that hole there. There we go. I'm going to take this binder clip off because it's getting in my way. Okay. Did I do something wrong? Yeah, I did. No, I didn't. This is my... Yeah, talk about feeling humble, right? Making mistakes. Trying to teach this. Making mistakes. Sorry. Okay. Now, I'm going to go in here. This one should be easy peasy because it's already been through before. Let me pull this up and bring it over because I kind of got to see what I'm doing too. Okay. So now I'm going to pull. I'm on the inside. I'm pulling that thread tight. And I'm going to go back through that hole. Now, before I pull it all the way through, so what we want is, ideally, we want one thread on one side. Ooh, and I've got that. So I've got this thread on one side, this on the other, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so now I'm going to just put my needle in there so that I'm not losing it and stepping on it and needing to get a tetanus shot and, you know, all that fun stuff. But see this one here? Well, you want these to straddle it. Then you're going to make a knot, well, a half of a knot, and now a whole knot. And let's do a third one just for good measure. You start doing too many of them, though, and next thing you know, you've got this big giant mess there. Then you take your fabric snips, and there you go. First one done. So that's one. So now I'm going to take this off. I don't know what Hedwig's crying about. She's having a little bit of a fit. And now we're going to go on to number 2. All right, so now we're going to do the second one. I am going to fold it. I did find that that was a little bit of a plus. Find the center. I'm going to butt that up to my folding line there. I use my binder clip. I think putting the binder clips on is one of the hardest parts of the whole thing. I don't think anything else is nearly so hard as getting these little silly clips on. Let me make sure I've got that going right. Yep, okay. Okay, so now we are going to take our awl again, and we're going to start poking through. And I think I'm going to speed this up for you. I mean, I don't really have any other horrible mishaps to share with you. Okay, so now I'm coming up, and 2 things that I just did. First one is I split that thread, so I'm going to pull this back out. I want to see my needle, but I also want to make sure that I get on the 2 opposite sides of that center thread. So that's one of the primary things. I mean, it's not something you can't fix. You know, like right at this point, it's really easy to fix it. Okay, and now I'm going to tie it once, twice, and 3 times. Get my little pinky snips. You do want to leave a little bit of a thread there. I probably could leave even a little more than I just left. And I'm bleeding. That was another thing that the gal said, is it's very easy. Here she is, this master quilter, and she says she still pricks her finger all the time, and that our human our spit has the same DNA as our blood, and our spit will clean up that blood right away. Not that you needed to know that, and I think I'm going to get a Band-Aid. Okay. So we're going on to the third one. And yeah, it was kind of cool to find out. She said even if that happens on fabric, if you prick your finger, because, you know, you play with needles, you prick your finger, right? And if it happens on fabric and you bleed on the fabric, immediately spit on it. She said a teacher that she had taught her that, and, you know, spit on it, and your own spit will get rid of your own blood off of fabric. So that's one of those things where it's good to know. Anyway, yeah, and this book is for me. So if you're going, oh man, I hope she isn't going to sell that book. I'm not. I'm not selling any of my books right now. I'm just trying to make stuff for me and figure this whole journey out, because I was just talking to my husband. He was home for lunch and we were talking, and he said, I need the all first. Yes, I do. Ha ha ha. I had to remember what the next step was. Sorry, got sidetracked. But he, you know, I was saying how I still like the 12 by 12 scrapbook pages, but there's a lot more freedom in working with the little golden book. And I'm sure I will find even more freedoms as we go. It's interesting though. So back in, it was either 1999 or 2000 or something when this whole archival thing started. And I have been following that faithfully. And I do think that having, you know, acid-free paper is probably very, very helpful. And so I'm poking again, right? I'm just stabbing away. But it's very helpful. But I just recently found these books. They've been packed away. I've had them for years. Of photos, and they're 100+ years old. I mean, they are really old photos. And they were my grandma. And back, she had this huge hat, and it had a bird on it. You know how you see that? I mean, like a stuffed bird on her hat. Seriously, Grandma, you had a stuffed bird on your hat? What? But she did, and those dresses and the big sleeves and the total puffed sleeves for Anne of Green Gables, you know. Oh my gosh. And it was cool to find them. I don't think they worried about acid-free paper, and I don't think they worried about page protectors, and I don't think they worried about any of that stuff. They were just happy to get a photograph, right? And they're still in good shape. And I don't know whether photo processing has changed over the years. My thought would be it's gotten better, right? But who knows? Anyway, I started realizing that maybe we don't have to be quite so rigid. You know, I was reading a remark of someone, and this wasn't on any of my videos. This was on a website, and they were asking, first of all, they said, can I put scrapbooking paper in their junk journals? And of course you can. In fact, it's probably really good paper. I am using cardstock. It is acid-free, and it is scrapbook paper. I wanted a sturdier base, and that was my thought on this was I want cardstock because I'm not finding that hole. Hold on. Okay, I want cardstock because I do want to put photographs on here, and I want it to have a nice base for my not totally happy about that. Oh well. I want a nice solid base for my photos. So there's that. But the other thing is, and that one went in really nice. I have it. But I want to be able to then play and add things to it and have a nice sturdy base. And I'm just afraid that if I use a real flimsy base, like just a thinner paper, that I won't be as happy. I may, you know, when I get to this page, I may put something there. Washi tape is always a winner. You know what I need to do, though? I think I need more thread. Must have more thread here. This will probably only make my hole worse. Did I split that? I sure did. Okay, so this is what happens sometimes is I split my thread, which is fine. You just need to rethread your thread. And I like this wax thread. I got it on Amazon. It's awesome. Anyway. But, wow, I forgot what we were talking about. Now you're really going to think I'm a klutz. Okay. Make sure that's that way. Okay. And then here. Okay. Darn, I really need more thread. Maybe we'll make it. Let's see. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Barely, but I'm good. Yep, I'm good. Look at that. Okay, and I'm on either side. There we go. And then I'll do 3 of these. Two. Oh, we were talking about archival and all that. And I don't want to put it down because I think that's I've done it for years. I think it's a really good practice. Somebody was asking about page protectors. Do they have to have page protectors? And there was split decision on that. You have the people that have been doing the archival for years and years and years that feel that that's the only way to go. But having found those photos of my grandma with her big, huge hat with a bird on it in great shape, and they are over 100 years old because they were like around 1910. Some of these photos were 1910, and it's 2024 almost, so we're talking over 100 years old, and they were in great shape. So I'm gonna say, if you feel like you need, and I'm saying this to me because I have done that, so I guess it's really how you feel about it. Whether you feel like you need to have page protectors or whether you are just fine without them. The gal who didn't want to put page protectors in said that she felt that she had more freedom without worrying about them. And if that's what you want to do, then do it, because you know what? It's your book. So it's kind of your thing, right? It made me think of a stupid song from probably 50 years ago. But telling you, the binder clips, worst part. I do have a little bit of arthritis in my thumb, so that's probably half the battle right there. But okay, back to the awl, and I'm going to speed up this process. Once again, because this is the most crucial thing, is to make sure that you're on either side. Oh, I might even I'll just grab my awl. I got these both on the same side, which I do not want. Well, you know what? At this point, I'm going to pull it through. And then I will just slip this through this way. There we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Okay. I'm gonna knot and knot. Now somebody said that a 3-hole pamphlet stitch has the same sturdiness as a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. And I'm gonna take that person's word for it, because they've been doing this longer than I have. But I like the way that looks. I just like the way that looks. I like the 5 holes. I like the way that looks. I also have seen, you know what I'm probably going to use here? Look at this. Get it closer. Oops, wrong one again. I may use some washi tape here. This also came unglued. So I'm going to glue that down. Did I use this or did I use that other glue? And manhandling it the way I was just manhandling it. So I'll probably add a strip of something here. Might be washi tape, might be something fabric to hold it down. Right now I'm just gonna press it really good. I'll probably put something heavy right over it. Okay, and just a few observations, because this really is my first one that I've used with an old little golden book. I am learning, but one of the things I learned from the class I took this morning, that you just got to keep practicing. You just got to keep trying. You know, you got to give it some time and keep learning. And I need to make more and more and more of these books. And with that said, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Hit that notification bell and please subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out a lot, especially if you like what I'm doing. You know, if you enjoy my little journey through this process, I would enjoy having you come along. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.